Good morning and greetings from Nighthawk Nation. My name is Darla Thurber and I'm Vice President for External Affairs at NPC. We welcome you to our virtual ribbon cutting and grand opening for our lab science expansion. Joining me this morning is NPC Board Chair, Mr. Forrest Spicer, Division Chair for Social Sciences and Math Science, he's here, Dr. Chuck Argo, SAU President, Dr. Trey Berry, who's joining us virtually from Magnolia, and NPC President, Dr. John Hogan. Chair Spicer, please approach the podium and get us started.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Darla. It's certainly an honor to continue the transformation here on National Park College. I was just sharing my father, who would have been 93 this year. For many years, he was talking about the year 2020, and he was going to make it to 2020. Well, he didn't quite make it, and so I don't know that he would have liked it that much at age 93, but we continue to do exciting things on the campus of National Park College. We are doing it in an innovative way by virtual ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings and all sorts of things. And so it's certainly very exciting today to have this ribbon cutting for the enhancement here at the lab science facility with new laboratory capabilities. And certainly the partnership with Southern Arkansas University is unique and exciting and certainly beneficial to our students. One of the things that we've looked at for many years is the correlation between higher education, particularly bachelor's degrees, and the economic opportunity for people in Garland County. And Garland County is, I would say, woefully inadequate in terms of its economic opportunity, and it's certainly relative to four-year degrees. So we've been in pursuit of being able to offer four-year degrees right here in Garland County. So a high school student can become a student at National Park College and then translate right into a four-year school such as Southern Arkansas University and get their bachelor's degree here. And we certainly hope that they'll continue to live and work and raise a family right here in Garland County. So the importance of the partnership with the four-year degree is vitally important to the economic well-being of all of our communities. So we're excited about this. Thank you for joining today. And we're optimistic and eagerly looking forward to more graduates with bachelor's degree in Garland County. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Spicer. We'd like to hear now from Dr. Chuck Argo as he shares a little bit about what this really means for our students. So Dr. Argo.
Thank you, Darla. It's great to be here today on behalf of our faculty in particular. With these new labs, National Park College now has the facilities, the equipment, and the supplies necessary to offer our students the same laboratory experience that they could have at a four-year college, which is rare for a school this size. Coupled with our excellent faculty in place, students will be able to take upper-level classes in the sciences that provide comprehensive hands-on learning that is vital not only to training future professionals in the fields of biology and chemistry, but also perhaps allow them to go on and pursue graduate degrees elsewhere and compete with the finest students from any other college. That's our expectation here. Our expectation is that our students will walk out of here with the same level of experience and the same level of training as students anywhere else. And we would not have pursued this if we didn't believe that our faculty and our students were not up to the task. And with this facility in place now, I feel very confident that that will come to fruition. Our partnership with SAU certainly has been key in the completion of this building. But most importantly, it's our local students and the opportunities they have now. And not only in Garland County, but in neighboring areas to come have access to a career path, to degrees that were beyond the scope of our ability a year ago. And something that I never thought I'd see on this campus. So that's a testament to our board, Dr. Hogan, and of course the leadership, Dr. Berry at SAU, and all of the fine faculty there that have helped us out. So we're very excited. Our faculty is very excited, and we believe this is a brand new era for National Park College, and we're excited to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chuck Argo. And now we would like to invite Dr. Trey Berry to say a few words. And the only negative about being in this room behind the podium right now is we're not going to be able to hear him in real time. We'll have to go back and hear this from the recording part. So I know your words are going to be prolific. I know you are smiling right now, that big Trey Berry smile, and you have a lot of good things to say. So I'm going to turn the mic over to you, and I'll catch you soon.
Thank you, Darla. I really appreciate this. I wish I could be there with you all. Of course, it's taken a worldwide pandemic to keep me away from campus, but just want to say from the very beginning that I feel like this partnership was meant to be in so many ways. I remember very well when Dr. Hogan and I went to talk to the governor about this prospective partnership and the new labs, and I remember how quickly the governor jumped on this. And I think that it was a testament to his belief and our belief about having four-year degrees in Garland County, and how that was such an important part of really the future of not just Garland County, but the state of Arkansas. I will tell you that SAU is completely committed to this partnership. It is so wonderful to look out and see this new lab, and I look forward to touring them in person someday very soon. We are committed to these students and all that they're doing, and we want to work with each individual student in the future. But I will tell you also that I think Dr. Hogan and I are committed that this is just the beginning. We're talking about other degrees in the future. And we just want to say congratulations to the Nighthawk Nation and all the things that are happening there. God bless you all, and we look forward to a great partnership in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Berry. And again, I didn't get to hear what you said in real time, but I know you, and you gave a lot of compliments to a lot of other folks. So I'll take the opportunity to say that we appreciate you. We appreciate your leadership, your vision, your willingness to be our partner, and we just know what it's going to pay forward to our students in the future. So thank you. And now I'd like to invite Dr. John Hogan to come up and say a few words as well. Dr. Hogan.
I'd also like to thank Dr. Berry and SAU, Chair Spicer, Dr. Argo, the entire NPC faculty, and all of the tireless work that goes into bringing these degree programs to our students. So in February 2019, we had we call it a press rally, where we promoted the consummation of bachelor's degrees in Hot Springs. This came as a result of student demand and student input. And then fast forward to February 2020, we did a groundbreaking for the new, for these new labs in which we're now standing. We were able to, again, reemphasize the importance of bringing bachelor's degrees to Garland County. And I want to share just a couple of those data points with you. So NPC is about economic viability. Earning power is part of that. So what we can do to improve quality of life, what we can do to improve earning power, and how we can respond to the needs of our students are all things we have the responsibility to attend to. So in Garland County, Arkansas, according to the last census, just over 20% of the population held bachelor's degrees. In Arkansas, that's about 22% statewide. Of the top 10 population centers in Arkansas, ours is last in educational attainment, 10 out of 10. In the US, just to give you a bigger mean, it's about 31% hold bachelor's degrees or higher. So if you calculate the earning power difference, if we were able to close the gap here in Garland County to the Arkansas mean, that translates to nearly $33 million in earnings in this county and in this community, 32 million. If we're to drive that to the national level, which again is just over 30%, that increases by about a factor of 5, almost 185 million in additional earnings that our young people, our workforce, our residents can attain. So this issue of what is National Park College's role going to be in improving the quality of life and improving the earning power and improving the economic viability of our community, this is one of those ways we want to invest. And we're grateful to SAU, we're grateful to their faculty, we're grateful to our faculty who put together the degree programs that our students now on the ground are able to take. So with that, I think we have a ribbon that we're going to cut. Again, I'd like to thank Southern Arkansas University and Dr. Berry and the faculty, and recognize the board for their wisdom and support and direction in bringing this to our students. So we're going to cut the ribbon. Yeah, oh, you need help?
So it's never official until you cut a red ribbon. We're going to do that, and we're going to have a virtual tour, so please stay on the line for that. And we'll have a couple of closing remarks that has this, an important teaser for an announcement in December. So please stay on.
You stand here. You get in the middle and cut the ribbon. There you go. You cut.
Go ahead.
You cut.
I'm a menace with large point objects.
Okay, get in the middle.
Okay.
All right. They're very sharp, so be careful.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Hey!
Good job.
So welcome, my name is Dr. Jason Martin. I'm one of the chemistry faculty here at the campus of National Park College. I'm going to spend a little time here today just kind of introducing to you some of the new labs that have been added to the lab science building. We are standing right now in the new chemistry lab, and I'm going to kind of take you all around the lab, just kind of show you the lab itself, as well as some of the equipment and instrumentation that our students will get exposed to firsthand when they come here on campus to major in a chemistry degree that we are partnering with SAU to obtain 4-year degree here on campus. So they'll get their first 2 years with National Park College and the last 2 years with SAU here on campus. So what we have here is what we call a snorkel. A snorkel is basically an apparatus that evacuates the fumes within a certain region. This is going to be available to our students, and you can see that you can adjust it as needed for whatever the experiment might be performed at the time. And students can essentially have the opportunity to do all of their lab work in this lab at the benchtop, which is a nice addition or feature for this lab. Most labs, especially organic chemistry labs or other upper division chemistry labs, you'll find that they'll have several of these fume hoods, which you see lined along the wall here. We have 4 of them in this new lab. You'll find several of these guys lined around the perimeter of the lab. The problem with that is that students working out of the fume hoods have their backs all turned towards the instructor. Whereas here with this feature, students can be working to their benchtop and the instructor can be scrolling around the room or browsing around the room and monitoring everything a student is doing. So this is a nice feature for this lab to allow students to do all of their work at the benchtop. So this is a Rotovapor Distiller. We call it Rotovap for short. We have 2 of these available in this lab. These are basically a lab version of a still, which probably most of us here in Arkansas are familiar with that term. And what this does is allow a student to very rapidly remove organic solvents from the reaction mixture. So from their benchtop, they'll make some sort of chemical product. They'll bring it over here to the Rotovap, and very quickly they can essentially remove all the solvent, and what's left behind in this flask here will be their chemical product. So in this new chemistry lab that was added to the lab science building, we have several pieces of instrumentation on this back wall in the lab that's going to give our students here at National Park College firsthand experience with modern scientific instrumentation that you may or may not get at a larger university. The first piece that I want to talk about here is what we call an FTI for short, or Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy. And this is one of several instruments that allows a student to verify or even identify a chemical substance or product they've made at their benchtop. So this is one of several that they can use to help them in that process. And so they get that experience firsthand of how to identify something they've made in the lab, which when you do that in the lab with hands-on experience, it really kind of turns on the light bulb and allows them to connect hands-on experience with what they're learning in lecture and theory. Another piece that we want to add to this is what we call a ultraviolet visible spectrometer, or UV-Vis for short. Again, this guy allows us to further characterize a substance that we may have made in the lab as a student. And so this is going to give students further practice with modern chemical instrumentation that you would find in places like industrial labs, pharmaceutical labs, or even things like crime labs. So they'll give them firsthand experience here, so that when they leave and graduate with an NPC SAU degree, they will have hands-on experience that will prepare them for the job market. Or if they're going on to graduate school or medical school, they'll also have that in their background. One last piece, but certainly not least, is the big boy, what we call NMR, or nuclear magnetic resonance. So this allows a student to identify the structure of a chemical compound. So when they've made something in the lab, they can use this in addition to UV-Vis and FTIR to fully characterize that substance and know exactly what they made. This guy, this NMR, even though it's called nuclear magnetic resonance, there's nothing nuclear in relationship to radiation happening, but this is actually the predecessor to what we call MRI, which you're probably familiar with, magnetic resonance imaging. So the much larger version, the MRI, is a very close relative to this NMR. The only difference here is we spin our chemical sample, whereas MRI, you spin the magnet around the patient. So what we have here at this station is another addition to our instrumentation available to our students to get, again, further hands-on experience in the scientific lab. And we have what we call gas chromatographs, or GCs for short. And this allows them to further identify some of the substances or products they'll be making in lab, to have that firsthand experience with practical lab technique. And so these GCs are not what we call research grade, but they are definitely very, very adapted to teaching lab. And so this will give students the practical experience so that when they leave here, they can also work with research grade instrumentation as well. So we have here a small sample of some of the glassware setups, the apparatus that some of our students will be using for their various courses here on campus, such as organic chemistry, instrumental analysis, physical chemistry, biochemistry. This here is a classic example of an organic apparatus. It's a simple distillation apparatus that basically teaches a student how to, one, use the lab-based glassware, as well as teach them some of the concepts and principles of what we call distillation, a very common process in chemistry. And this other guy here is what we call a separatory funnel. Basically allows a student to separate out a chemical mixture. And so again, this is just a small sample of glassware among several pieces that students will be using and getting practice here on the campus of National Park College. And I just want to reemphasize what we're offering here on campus is second to none in the state as far as four-year undergraduate chemistry programs are concerned. Well, welcome back. We're here in the new Physics and Engineering Lab here at National Park College. Obviously, it's a new day. As you can see, I'm not in the same clothing as I was with the Chemistry Lab virtual tour. So I want to welcome you and just say that this is the first time we've had a Physics Engineering Lab that is attached to this building, which is really cool for our students. We have several options coming up that this space will be utilized for. One aspect that we're using this for is all of our biology and chemistry majors, those who are doing the 2+2 agreement with SAU here on campus, will be using this space for Physics 1 and 2. Likewise, we'll be using this space for all of our engineering majors who are doing a 2+2 agreement, whether they're transferring from here to SAU, U of A in Fayetteville, U of A, Fayetteville has, I think, mechanical engineering. SAU has several engineering options. And likewise, Arkansas Tech University has an agreement where students can transfer from here to there to get their 2+2 engineering degrees. So this space that has been created is going to be well utilized for all of those students. So it's going to be busy. It's going to be a busy, busy lab. So we're just going to kind of take a brief moment and let you view this space and realize that, yes, we have several outlets hanging from the ceiling. The cool feature about this is these guys can be adjusted as needed, as well as these benches can be adjusted as needed for the instructor, depending on the course they're teaching, whether it be physics or an engineering course. So this lab is well adapted to multiple purposes for those physics engineering classes that will be offered to our students and are currently being offered to our students. I believe Dr. Post is already using this space for some of his classes. We'll continue probably into next semester and beyond. So we would just want to say that we are very excited for all that's going to happen in this space, along with the chemistry space that's being created above us. So this guy is in the first floor of the lab science building for the physics and engineering. The chemistry lab, which you've already seen, is in the second floor of lab science. So we're extremely excited and we're looking forward to getting students in here and get to work.
We appreciate Dr. Jason Martin for that nice tour of the facility, and I know it makes us all anxious to come out and take a look ourselves. We could do that on a one-on-one basis if anyone is interested. But we thank you for celebrating with us today. This is a monumental step here at National Park College. It's just another story in our book, and we look forward to what it means to our students. So we also want to invite you back next week, Monday, November 9th. We're going to have a ribbon cutting and grand opening of our Oaklawn Foundation Hospitality and Tourism Center. And following that in December, we're going to have another special announcement that you'll be interested in, and we hope to share that with you around December 2nd. So thank you again from Nighthawk Nation. Have a wonderful day. Be healthy and be safe.